Section 1. The history of WHMIS and GHS. WHMIS stands for Workplace Hazardous Material Information System. It is a legally binding Canada-wide system designed to provide information for working safely with hazardous products in your workplace. WHMIS is aligned with the globally harmonized system, GHS system of classification and labeling, and was created with the United Nations involvement to harmonize the different systems used around the world. GHS terms and symbols are agreed upon internationally with many of Canada's trading partners. Between 2015 and 2018, GHS will be phased into the WHMIS system in Canada. GHS will not replace WHMIS, but will change some of the terminology and classifications. GHS affects suppliers, importers, and distributors of potentially hazardous materials used at work sites, and the employers and workers who use those materials. Why do we need WHMIS and GHS? There are thousands of chemicals used by industry and more being developed each day. We need to know which ones are dangerous and how we can protect ourselves. Socioeconomic researchers estimate the social cost of exposure to hazardous material in the Canadian workplace is between $600 million to $1 billion each year. Not only does the WHMIS system more than pay for itself by minimizing the cost of lost time, workers are happier because they go to work knowing how to protect themselves from the health effects of chemical exposure. WHMIS was created to make it easy for workers to get knowledge about hazards in a standardized format and is based on the right-to-know legislation. Who developed WHMIS and GHS? A joint committee of employers, unions, and government developed WHMIS. More recently, many governments around the world came together with the United Nations to develop GHS in an effort to create worldwide standardization. WHMIS and GHS is law. WHMIS became law in Alberta on March 15, 1989. Those who violate WHMIS legislation may face fines and jail time. Canadian federal WHMIS legislation was amended on February 11, 2015 to align with GHS. What is GHS? GHS is an international initiative to standardize chemical hazard classification and communication around the world. WHMIS is a national hazard communication system that provides information on the safe use of hazardous materials in Canadian workplaces. GHS will not replace WHMIS. WHMIS will be modified to incorporate GHS, and there will be new standardized classification rules and symbols, labeling requirements, and safety data sheet formats, which were formerly referred to as material safety data sheets. Why is global harmonization necessary? Currently, all of our trading partners have different systems for classification and labeling of chemical products. This can lead to confusion and has been expensive for governments to regulate and enforce, and costly for companies who ship globally. GHS will more effectively protect workers and help everyone save money. What is the scope of GHS? GHS covers all hazardous chemicals and will be adopted to cover chemicals in the workplace. GHS will affect the transport of chemicals, consumer products, pesticides, and pharmaceuticals. The target audiences for GHS include workers, transport workers, emergency responders, and consumers.